Bada bing, bada bong. Voila! InShalla and Ashe. Blessings to you, my energetic beings. And hala, and welcome back to today's daily snippet. I'm a little slow, but either way, I am your host. I am a practicing holistic medium and subtle energetic surgeon. And my intention really is to use the power of these indigenous technologies, our original blueprint, to navigate our soul's harmonic through the realm of the elementals, the elemental highways, and into those imaginal realms, the subtle energies, elements, elemental beings, with offerings, rituals, and prescriptions to really add to your personal container. But my intention really is to truly merge the wisdom of these indigenous ways, these technologies, with those subtle realms and the etheric highway to assist you into navigating your prime directive, your inner genius, just reintroducing each and every body to the magical being that I think or believe resides within each and every one of us. And I call myself a holistic medium. My name is Tanya D, and welcome to my virtual medicine room if you are new. But the frequency of the day is one of our heart's creation, who we are and what we are creating. So if you feel like a tug within your heartstrings on taking an action, moving forward, etc., it might be the universe. The universal laws may be just exploring another door of opportunities with the streams of the universe just flowing into that cosmic chalice. It's not just open, but it is wide open. So it really is ready to receive the pour into that chalice. So it really is an amazing day for relational energy, our heart space, the high heart, just going with our chalice, the heart chamber, she already knows, along with deep into the realms of our subconscious. It's water energy, the realms of reconciliation, a pathway of clarity or becoming clear about something. So you may feel a little bit too open or too wide in your emotional field, but also feel driven to face the fears within the subconscious. So it's kind of a little topsy-turvy, reminding me of the Fae. I don't have any here. However, just protecting the emotional field of the hearth, the home, the family, even our ancestors in the world and outside of it. And with that, if you haven't already, please do be kind and subscribe to my YouTube channel or any of my channels, Tanya D. But go ahead and hit the bell button so you are notified. And also, if you really don't mind liking my videos, commenting, or sharing, so that algorithm on YouTube will echo me out and suggest me to like-minded users in the galactic universe, along again with those other social channels, TikTok, Instagram, and my podcast, Musing with Tanya D. Super juicy and super different. And also, if you feel the need or the call and wish to dive deeper, head on over to my Musing Corridor where I have offerings to guide you. I am your holistic medium assistant, if you will. You are your own healer. The cosmic threads can seem a little bit bumpy at times, and we need a little otherworldly medicine to assist us in guiding us through those waves. The turmoil, the energetic hiccups is kind of what I call them. Wherever you are at, I will for sure, absolutely 100% meet you there. However, with the energy of today, I really do prefer the messages of the Fae, the other realms, star seeds and all. So it's the origin, and we are infinitely connected to the origin, the original, the Big Bang. It's also within each and every one of us. There's something to muse about there. So I am going with the ShadowScapes today, a combo of the Celtic, the Fae, the beings of the old, paganism, the Druids. Just a juicy combination of cards there, actually. However, first up, we have the Two of Pentacles, the Earth, the Pentacles, right? The Earth beings, the beings that dwell on the Earth, even gold. So she's actually standing upon one leg. She's dancing. She's doing a juggling act to balance. Similar to the Hindu deity Shiva, engaged in the dance of creation, but also destruction, two sides of the same coin. So this really is kind of this harmonious equilibrium of opposing forces. And being that we're going to be actually heading into the moon in Libra, it's kind of feeling that way a little bit to me as well. But it's as if this pose itself is kind of a precarious kind of position, standing on this rocky pentacle. He's perched upon something that seems kind of ready to wobble or tumble into the abyss at the slightest incorrect movement, or, you know, just even a gust of wind. However, our little being there is very confident, knows how to do this dance, and he has a sense of all of these dynamics, not the statics of the situation. Can feel the wind moving with his movements. It's like this silent, invisible partner, these streams, if you will, kind of performing this elaborate kind of, I almost said a buffet, ballet. So will confidence be his downfall? He is otherworldly, and he's got this Zephyr. Is he going to lose that playfulness? Is a traitor going to strike before he can react to compensate for that swift change in that direction of the gust of the winds? So the Two of Pentacles really is a balancing act. It's just juggling and keeping everything in flow and motion, being flexible, being adaptable, changing directions easily and often frequently, just meeting up with the challenges. And sometimes, you know, we tumble our way with high spirits, but, you know, we're kind of wary of taking on too much. But this is otherworldly. So the other world is beckoning us to dance, to take a breath and a pause with the dance of life. We cannot control time, and we cannot control the winds of fate or the tides. The elementals, however, that really is their playground. But so yeah, it's this awkwardly backward moving dance of life that the universe is like opening our door to. And following her, oh, I'm doing my own dance. Here we go. Let me move that down a little. There I am. We have the Ten of Cups. So this is water. It's the emotional realm, having boundaries, 10, around the heart. So water swirls around the two of these little characters, and the wave tops, they've been kissed by the sun, getting the streams of the sun, the reflection of the sun in this watery abyss. The waters are warm, they're inviting, and they're drifting in this embrace, this fluidic embrace. They're being buoyed like wood when wood bounces on the waves, right? But there's a lightness and there's a flare within their hearts as well. Like these twin little mini suns, and their delight. They're caught in each other's gravity, and they're orbiting around each other just in this space, right? And the world outside, it really ceases to exist. They are in the abyss. They have their attainment. They're in their heart's desire. They really, truly want for nothing. They need nobody else to make this moment complete. There is this union between the two of them. So all the surrounding little living creatures there in this little swarm of oceanic fluids, I should say, they're all living there. But the school of fish is sending the bubbles to froth in this dizzying swirl around these two entangled beings. So joy is radiating outward in this luminous shelter of that protection. So the fish really are a symbol of plenty and prosperity. They're slicing through the depths. Their scales are sparkling. They are gold. They are glittering. So this kind of is a moment of bliss, of seemingly eternal. It's final contentment. It is real, but it must be nurtured and nourished, or it can easily slip back away into the depths of the ocean like a scattered school of fish. So the Ten of Cups is like this final attainment of that serenity and of peace, success, happiness, it's been granted. This all-encompassing emotional contentment, not just physical or material, because it is water, where the family and support and bonds are important, to just being able to enjoy the blessings of life. However, this too is otherworldly. So this attainment, it's not happening. The serenity is paused. The peace is on hold. So things are being removed. Emotions aren't content. The bonds are lifted. They're flowing, but possibly zero support. So it's kind of like this emotional entanglement. We need our emotions validated, right? And then we have our final message is actually from the Four of Cups. Anybody having an emotional day? So the Four of Cups, if you can tell, she's making her way actually to the surface, the water surface. It's shivering at her approach, if you will. And then she just bursts through that barrier of the water to climb onto those rocks. She's leaving one realm into another, a sphere. And the water is streaming from her hair. It's flowing off of her shoulders. She's flicking this arc of shining droplets with her tail, like diamonds. She's just sparkling in that air and vanishing beneath the surface. However, she's lying there. She's still. She's holding her breath until she's actually certain that no one has followed her. And who would? So they only have eyes for mind, sense for the world beneath the waves. But she's waiting anyway. And she wants to be certain that she is alone. Solitude. She's bored of this world. She's tired of that existence, that endless dance of the sea, the emotions, the ripples of the disruptions and smoothing things away, glittering. And soon the water surface becomes like this little glassy mirror, this reflection, right? And the blue of the sky is melting into the reflective blue of the water. So it's this seamless gradation of color and light. So her mind is escaping for a moment. It's in this dreamy contemplation, and she sees a reflection for the very first time. She's struck by her own magical essence, her own beauty, not in a vain kind of way, but more with fascination and a newfound discovery. And she's gazing into those reflective eyes that seem like very tiny pools of water within themselves. And she's reaching out to touch the creatures who gaze back at her. And then with a sudden shock, her fingers meet the glass, the reflection. The image is shattered into a dozen little ripples, and she's startled. And only then does she become aware that she is not as alone as she first thought. I always like to say, out in nature, there are more eyes upon us than our eyes could ever imagine. Kind of reminds me of the cherubim, the angel beings, the cherubims in a way. But through the sea of these denizens, they have left her to her own little device. The sylphs of the air, I don't know if you can see them, they've crept through during that distraction, and they're watching her intently. They're amused, and they're a little mocking, I guess. So suddenly the air feels chill upon her drying skin. Mind you, she's a water being. She's the essence of the water. I wouldn't really say a mermaid, but something of the water. And so she's yearning to go back into the soothing embrace, the comforts of the sea, to be with her kind, her kin. So the Four of Cups represents this self-absorption, this introspection, thinking too deeply into one's own concerns, being lost in those reveries, the awareness of anything else is fading, the world seems gray. But the outside world has so much to really offer. So if we were to tear our gaze away from our own reflection, Four is also Uranus energy. Uranus is in Taurus. So it may be this emotional innovation that's taking a physical form. That's kind of on the back burner because it's otherworldly, right? So all of these things are held in the fluids of our emotional bandwidth in a way. I don't know about you, but I'm just musing out loud. And then on the elemental highway, we have a yin fire rooster, a ding you, right? But this is an inward journey, charisma, fire's charisma around solitude, going in, yin, where yesterday was very full of yang energy. Going inward was a better idea. Today, possibly an outward approach. However, I must say the planets are doing a dance too. But our day is yin fire, being born in the month of the dragon, different frequency. It's weak because the earth is wet, and the wood, the yang wood of the month, and the tiger, that element, the element of wood is slowly, it's diminishing because we're heading into the season of summer. And earth is always an interseason because it's too hard energetically on the body to go from one season to the next. So the universe was brilliant and put seasons of earth in between all these master elements. So the young earth, our dragon, is alive and very well. He's juicy. And he's a wood dragon, so he's like in the trees. But the yang wood, our month and the year, that's the key element for today. It's nature. Nature has all the juice. But it's providing the support for our little yin fire, and it's keeping the earth under control, breaking up the earth with the roots. So yin fire, it's like the candle. I've said this before. It mimics Yin fire people mimic the flickering of a lamp, the reflection of it. They reflect, actually. People under this sign reflect differently, obviously, than yang fire, which is the sun on the oceans, different kinds of reflection. But these people, they're discreet, they're meticulous, and it's kind of the subtle energies of spirit, actually, is kind of how I sense them. So these people kind of are polished and a little mild on the surface, meditate and stare into a candle. That's kind of an understatement for their real personality. But these people, eventually, they warm up once you get to know them. They don't let anybody under the covers, I guess. Their energy is very expandable. It can be warming, but it can also burst from a candle fire into a flame, a volcano, just burning everything in their pathway or on their path. But our day, it is actually strong. It's a weak strength, mind you. Being born in the spring is when fire is generally stronger. In the spring, it's rising, right? But in the summer, it is the strongest energy. But it functions the best with a great supply of wood, which we have, especially the yang wood, and yang metal, which we don't have. But if we did have those two, that it really is the combination that wins. The yang wood's going to supply the fuel for our day. And the metal gives fire a purpose, especially yang metal for our day. That really is the fuel. And yin fire forges the unrefined metal. So yin fire probably would have been a better frequency for yesterday. So we still do need the yang metal today. Unrefined stones would be awesome. Oh, look at that. I got one right there. You can't see it. It's too little, probably. Little crystal. Yeah. Feeling great. So yeah, it turns it into a useful tool. And yin fire does not like yin water because they clash. It goes against each other. It can handle the yang water in the year. So that's a good sign. But being our day is weaker, our yin fire, don't dwell on the failures of today. That's my whole message with this one. We kind of need the support to really snap out of it. Too much earth, that's not a good thing for our day either, because too much earth creates the ash, which is fire creates ash. It's the product of a fire person. It'll suffocate our frequency today. So these people, our day we might need to bond with our family a little more, especially our mother, possibly, because yin fire has that frequency naturally. Yin fire people, they need their mother. That's the most influential person in their foundation, in their lives. They really need a great education today. That's kind of the key to access this, to get through to a healthy, balanced support of the mother. So maybe go to lunch with your mom. And if you fall short of that, you're going to struggle emotionally throughout your life. Finding that emotional balance, that filter. But yin fire people, they tend to suffer longer from the childhood traumas, more so than any of the other master elements, because this is emotional dependency, so they need that foundation. However, they're quick thinkers. They have great attention to details. They're really devoted to the people close to them. They are kind, they're thoughtful, they're inspiring. It's fire, warm and loving. People with this day master, David Bowie for one, I can kind of muse about him in The Labyrinth, Sir Didymus, Kim Kardashian, and Serena Williams, and I kind of muse about their relationship with their mother. Those just a few to name that fall under that day master. So it really is a day to reflect on the past and just not going down in the rabbit hole. Maybe you have felt more confident. Maybe you see where there's room for growth, just spotlighting that fire. And often we have a lot of missteps because we forget the baby steps to the growth, right? You can't just bounce from one thing to another. You miss a lot of the in-between stuff. So we do want to be on top without doing the groundwork, creating that foundation. And in doing so, the foundation literally trips us up. It's pummeling us to the ground. You may have a need to have your own private shell today, like a turtle or a crab. So our feelings are doing that dance, that mystical dance in those waters, just receiving the deep dive with all that we may fear inside of us. Feelings need to be acknowledged to heal and validated. having a conversation with them. So just remember that they too can be your guide as well. I'm only doing this because I'm super excited. I do have my Musing Moon meditation out. I do have the links in the show notes, by the way. But the moon herself, you know, we're gravitating to that frequency soon. Sorry, my brain just went on fire. But that's okay. Just, you know, allow ourselves to be yin, go into those vulnerable depths, deep diving. So we can set ourselves up for that solid foundation. So it's a time to be in the zone of neutrality. It might feel a little wonky today, I'm not going to lie. And our heart is the spiritual space that we should be in, our own spirit space. This kind of, this is why I created the Energy Body Demystified. It's merging both our physical and our energy worlds together. So we have that gravitational pull, so we get out of our own way and we're more in alignment, gravitating to the divine, or we're aligned with the divine, our source energy and all the juice. So you may feel like a cosmic reboot is needed, possibly a safety blanket to ride, the one that's going to comfort us, like the comforters, with the inward solicitation, the solitude. So this is a dance of the in-betweens and the betweens. It's getting psychic affirmations. It's the feelings that are bubbling up in those streams, healing streams of any kind of healing. You can stream in whatever your heart's feeling, really. But I would literally, time to grab the popcorn, watch more of the movie, your own movie, be in your container, know you're safe. The universe is our blessing, it's our guide. And being that our crown is online in our root center, I would really bring in pink. Pink is a combo of the root and the crown, that divine energy, that secret sauce. And pink is also the hands. That's where healing energy comes through. We can command light through our hands, the power pathway. However, with a crown, that's the ong, the sound of ong. I have all this in the show notes, but ong through our heart channel, or lam from the root to our heart channel, just creating that self-sacred kind of container space. So it's as if we are getting the hyper gate of where we belong, possibly just being grateful for the path we've been on. And I would affirm, you know, I am receiving the chalice of light, loving the life I am meant to live. Sometimes just loving the space we're in wakes us up to the gratitude. So it's as if we are attracting it through the essence of that emotional channel. So yeah, be light, my little warriors out there. And with that, thanks for tuning in. I know I was a little snell. I'm like a snail some days. And as always, I will see you on the other side. InShalla and Ashe.